Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney and today we have another work from home module sew along video. That's a lot. Here's the hashtag. So this is the modules challenge that I'm running right now, and actually before we get into the video I just wanted to talk a little bit. I had planned on not doing any prizes, mostly because my time is limited right now. I am part-time homeschooling my children, and yeah, I just didn't have time to go into the depth that I did for the Great Module Sew Along earlier in the spring. So anyway, but I had two wonderful companies that reached out to me wondering if they could offer prizes for this, and I said sure, why not? That sounds great. It was so kind of them to offer. So anyway, I've decided we are going to offer one grand prize. I will pick the person randomly from the hashtag work from home module sew along. On, let's see, the contest ends at October 31st, which is at midnight Eastern Standard Time. That is my time zone. So the next morning on the 1st, I will pick a winner randomly. I'll use a random number generator and randomly pick a person from that hashtag. You just have to have 6 or 7 if you want, but your capsule posted pictures by the 31st. Again, these don't all have to be me made. You can have some stuff from your current wardrobe. It can be stuff that was purchased that you love, stuff that was thrifted that you loved, and with the addition of some handmade stuff as well. So that is kind of the change to the challenge. I want to talk a little bit about the prizes. The first one is in a haystack, and this is a digital subscription, a digital oh, how does she put it? A digital sewing pack, basically. So each month, normally it's £10 a month. This is a UK-based company, and you get a PDF pattern, a PDF pattern from an independent pattern designer, a discount code for an independent fabric shop, in addition to interviews, tips, tricks, and lots more sewing treats and that kind of thing. But it all comes into your inbox once a month. So it's a sewing subscription box, but it introduces you to a whole bunch of new indie fabric shops and indie pattern designers. So I think that sounds great. And so she's giving a month away to the winner. So that's very exciting. That's Kate. And then also we have got a other one who is actually also Kate. I have three Kates I'm working with right now. Screech Owl Fabrics is the other one that has offered a $50 coupon basically for their fabric shop. This was a new to me fabric shop, which of course I love to death. And anyway, I went and had a look, and she's got a lot of beautiful things, but she's offered again a $50 coupon for her shop. So it's basically $50 off $50. So it's not really a gift card, because she said she has issues with her website like doing gift cards, but basically you just have to spend at least $50 and you'll get $50 off, if that makes sense. So yeah, so it's $50 towards her shop, which is also very, very kind. But I'm gonna leave links down to both companies below if you're interested in just taking a look. I had heard of In the Haystack before, but Screech Owl Fabrics is a new one to me, and I had a lot of fun going through and looking at her curated stock that she's got on her website. So definitely go check out both of those if they're of interest to you. So yeah, that's very exciting. So just a little bit of change to the challenge. Just that, put up your module before the 31st of October. Again, not all 6 pieces have to be made, just to be eligible for the prize, and I'll be picking someone randomly on the 1st of November. So there you go. That's something kind of fun and exciting. All right, so today I'm actually doing a video in conjunction with Kate from Sewing from Scratch, and she is the one that is doing the, sorry, I just want to get all of the details correct here. Doing the hashtag shelf sewing September. I accidentally put self sewing September in the description box last week. I did change it, but I apologize, that it's a typo. Anyway, the idea behind this challenge is to sew from your stash for the month of September, which is a fantastic thing. It goes hand in hand with this module sew along. And so we're kind of doing a collaboration this week because I'm talking about fabric today. And obviously that is what her challenge is all about, pulling stuff from your stash. And definitely go check out the hashtag because she is highlighting some fantastic companies each week, and she's giving out prizes each week. They are all BIPOC companies, so it's just a wonderful way just to to celebrate our wonderful inclusive community, and also find some really great creators and small business owners as well that you may not have been familiar with, which kind of is pretty exciting. So definitely want to go check out that if you haven't already, because I did mention it last week. But yeah, if you're interested in taking the challenge to the next level and trying to sew completely from your stash, this is a great challenge to also take part in. And again, there's some wonderful prizes that she's offering over there. Okay, so that is everything that I've got to talk about here up front. But I'm just very excited. I love people reaching out, and if there's anyone else that wants to reach out, I don't have time to actively seek out any more prizes. But if there is a small company out there that's watching, I'm happy if you wanted to throw a prize into the prize bucket. I'm happy to talk about you on the channel and do it that way. So definitely you can send me a DM on Instagram. My email is at the bottom of all of my videos as well if you want to send me one there. But yeah, that would be fantastic. So let's get into fabric. Okay, so whether you are sewing from your stash or having to purchase a few things to add to your module, we're going to talk about fabric and about colors, basically, kind of how that goes with fabric. Now, I had mentioned last week that I'm really trying to break up the module process into baby steps, just to make it really non-overwhelming and really easy for anyone to do. Back in the spring, I did 3 modules, and I know that that can be very overwhelming to a lot of people. And while I'm not going to stop at just 1 module for my fall sewing, that's all I'm going to do for this challenge. And then if you do watch the channel, you'll see me building on this as we go throughout the fall and into the winter, actually. I will probably be just swapping out a few things that will no longer be appropriate for our winters and adding in some more winter appropriate things. But a majority of the things that I'm making should stand through the winter. Anyway, so we're definitely taking this small. I'm making actually 7 pieces. I like to put a 1 piece in there too, so I'm going to be doing that for this one as well. But we're just going to break this up very, very small. So my advice, my friend Sisa, so hi Sisa, who I had mentioned last week about my friend that was just getting overwhelmed and creating her wardrobe. She was like, texted me, she's like, that's me, I'm your overwhelmed friend. And I'm like, you are. But anyway, she had asked, okay, picking colors, like where do you even start? Like how do you start coming up with a color story for your wardrobe or for this module? I would like to reiterate, I do not have a minimalist closet. I mean, if you watch the channel, you know I make a ton of stuff, so how could I have a minimalist closet? But I am striving to have a very cohesive closet. So I do not want any waste in my closet. I want everything that's in there to be able to be worn with multiple things so that I'm getting a lot of enjoyment and a lot of love out of every single piece. However, this module concept really does work for a minimalist wardrobe. So if that is something that you are striving for, if you want to try and just live with a certain number of pieces in your wardrobe, this is also very, very makes it very easy for you to do that as well. So my closet has a whole bunch of modules in it that I can either mix and match, or some of them they don't, but I have other stuff that kind of builds off of it that you can then mix and match off other things. So that's kind of where we're going with today. So colors. I think that I had mentioned we're going to start with colors, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about fabric, and I'm going to kind of show you my process. So when picking colors, I've showed you guys this before. I had my colors done professionally at the beginning of the year. I know not everyone is interested in doing that or has the money to have, you know, the funds available to have your colors done professionally right now. However, there are a lot of, there's some free websites. You know, if you Google color analysis, there's quite a few different websites that allow you to have quizzes and stuff to where you can kind of pinpoint maybe where you might be. Now, I highly recommend if you are able to kind of save and do something professional. I used Christy Russell from Fashion Translated. She does it virtually. She's actually based in Toronto, Canada, but she does all of her color analysis virtually. Well, not all, but for the most part, she does see clients in person in Toronto. But if you're not in Toronto, she does do things virtually. I was absolutely blown away, and I have a whole video. I'll pop a link up to the video that I did about my experience with my color analysis. It was a game changer for me. I was not wearing anything close to the right colors, and I think even if you watch my older videos before pre-color analysis and post-color analysis, you'll see a big difference in wearing my colors and what it's made. Now, do you have to wear your colors? No, I know. Wear what makes you happy. Like, definitely. There's rules are made to be broken, definitely. But if you're wanting to really hone in things that make you look your best, and if that's something that's important to you and interesting to you, it really did make a huge difference with me. I enjoyed my professional experience also because she gave me makeup suggestions, of which I use all of them. So you may notice a big difference in the change in my makeup since the beginning of my channel as well. That's all because of that whole color analysis. So I feel like I got a lot more out of it than just what, you know, a online quiz. Plus it also took out the, you know, when you're doing an online quiz about yourself, you may have some preconceived notions about yourself and see yourself a certain way, which aren't necessarily true. Not that color analysis is like a fact thing. Like there's definitely opinion that plays in, even a professional that's giving you a color analysis, if that makes sense. But I think when looking at ourselves, sometimes that can be skewed a little bit. And that definitely was the case for me. Maybe not everyone, but definitely was the case for me. So yeah, play around. You know, if you're interested in investing some money, which I found completely 100% worth it, I would have done it again in a heartbeat for myself. Yes, I will put the link to Christy down below. She often has waiting lists, but she opens up her spots rather frequently. And I'm sure there's a whole host of other people that do this virtually as well. So if you know someone in your area or, you know, doing a search and finding someone that has some good reviews online, I can just speak for Christy because that's who I used. So anyway, I have this wonderful little wallet here that are all of my colors. So this is one good starting point, just to go through. I mean, obviously, ideally, my closet would include all of these colors eventually. That's kind of hard to see. Those are really dark purples, really pretty, like plummy purples. But yeah, ideally my closet will contain all of these, and one day it will. But you know, this is very overwhelming. You can't make stuff with all of these colors. You know, you've got like the colors of the rainbow. Like how do you even start picking colors? So here is kind of my formula that I have found to be very helpful. So again, we're starting off with just 6 pieces. So don't also feel like, well, I'm only getting, you know, picking 3 or 4 colors. Like I want to wear more than that. Of course you do. But just start with this and then we will build off of that, because I'm going to show you what is the chaos on the floor of my sewing room right now and how I go through my fabric stash and pick things out and then determine if I need to add or subtract from there. But I like to start off with a lighter neutral, with a darker neutral, and then 1 to 2 accent colors. And that's what I like to work with basically for one module. Now, you can definitely add in more accent colors as things go on. If you decide you want to add in a 3rd neutral, that's fine. Yeah, it can just kind of morph from there. You know, this is just kind of the starting point. So let's not get ourselves overwhelmed, and let's just start with the basics. So how do you pick? Okay, so now that you have that down, how do you pick what those colors are? So from having my color analysis done, I know what my best neutrals are, which my darker neutrals, my best darker neutrals are a dark chocolate brown or a navy blue that has a warm undertone, like not too cool of a navy, but a warmer navy. So those, you know, I'm kind of picking between those two as far as darker. And I was looking through my Pinterest board and I'm just picking a lot of browns right now. And I really love the way that looks on me. So I decided to go with chocolate brown for my dark neutral. So that's kind of where I went with that. I'm going to talk about an alternate way of picking colors here in just a second. And then as far as a lighter neutral, back in the spring, I also went with kind of a chocolate brown for my dark neutral. And then I picked kind of a creamy, my white basically, like a creamy color. Like a warm white for my lighter neutral. Now because that was for spring, now because I'm going into fall, and some of those pieces actually are going to be coming into my fall wardrobe, so stay tuned for that. But again, on down the road. But because we're going into fall and I wanted something a little bit moodier, and I'm also just with coziness, and I'm also really feeling the camel. There's a lot of camel out there right now, and I love that color. It's warm, it's inviting, so I thought that would make a wonderful color for my lighter neutral. And I also love the way chocolate and camel play off of each other. It's almost monochromatic. If you're choosing a warm chocolate brown and a warm camel color, and my camel, you know, there's different shades of camel. You can definitely even go a little bit cooler with your camel colors. My best camel colors almost go like into the ochre. They're definitely almost mustardy in tone. So that's, you know, I was wanting to go with like a real warm, cozy camel. And again, I had pinned so many outfits that were kind of monochromatic with that's, you know, I could tell right off the bat, that's kind of the color that I was wanting. So those were my two neutrals. Now, in picking my accent colors, I have a lot of accent colors actually that I want to work with this fall, but again, I want to keep things nice and easy. And I actually, I'm sewing this right now on the sew along on the channel, and this is another way to pick your colors. This fabric, which I'm making my shirt dress out of, has my camel color that's in there. Obviously you could pair brown with this. And then I bounced off of this. Like, this is what I want to use for my accent colors. Now, you're going to be seeing kind of this wine color coming in later, but to keep things easy, I'm just adding one accent color, and that is an olive green. So that is what I've decided to do for this first module. Now, I love to wear color, and this is in fact, olive can even be considered a neutral in many cases, and that's fine, you know? It can be an accent color, or that could also be a good neutral for you as well, if that's kind of how you're wanting to move towards. But yes, that is what I've decided for my module, keeping it very simple. Now, when we go off of this, and you're going to be seeing further on into the fall, I'm actually going to be adding a few more colors in, and the way that I came about that is literally throwing fabric on the floor and trying to decide what I liked. Now, everything, I'm going to show you the mess that is on my floor right now. Not everything will be coming into my fall and winter wardrobe. This was just stuff, I literally just went through my stash and pulled things that kind of went with each other. I was also looking for textures. So I had mentioned before that I am a soft classic, and that is David Kibbe, and that is Kibbe. So if you want to go and search that, there's a whole bunch of quizzes online that you can take to determine your body type, which goes way beyond like just how you're shaped. You know, it doesn't even take into account if you're overweight, underweight, whatever. You are what you are, and how to determine that. And I'm pretty sure I'm a soft classic. I would love to have a professional tell me, but alas, I'm pretty sure that I am a soft classic. It just makes sense with the things that I'm drawn towards and the things that I really like on myself, the silhouettes. But one of the parts of that is that I bring in some softer fabrics. So I really want to play around with texture. I found that I wear a lot of solid colors. That's what I'm drawn to, which also makes sense with my soft classic aesthetic. Classic tends to be a little bit less on the patterns, but and that's definitely what I'm drawn. I mean, aside from maybe some plaids or checks and stripes, occasionally I'll throw in a floral of some sort. But yeah, for the most part, I'm pretty much in the solid fabric camp, which is fine. It's what I like to wear. So anyway, I kind of pulled out some different textures that I wanted to kind of play around with. You know, softer stuff. I've got some suede a suede skin, which gave me an idea for another color. And then when I started throwing fabrics down on the ground, a few color combinations really jumped out at me. So that's another thing. If you have a print, number one, that you love, obviously, you know that all of these colors would look beautiful together. The oranges, the kind of the brick reds, and the different greens and the camels. Those clearly, some designer who designed this fabric came up with that, and you know, a lot of money went into that selection. So it's very easy, you know, to spin off of a print. So if you're having issues, find a print that you love, that you think are colors that look really great on you, and do it that way. That's a very easy way to pick your colors. You know, and I could have, if I were a so I do look good in darker colors, more saturated colors. Now my daughter, who is more of spring, so she has low contrast with her hair, her skin, her eyes, is all very low contrast. Too dark of a neutral washes her out. She needs, so, you know, for her dark neutral, you know, she may choose like a camel for her dark, and then her light be, you know, like her white, which is probably a creamier one, because she's definitely a warm skin tone. She's just much fairer than I am. Low contrast, I guess. She's much lower contrast than I am with her hair, skin, and eyes. So anyway, so there's definitely that. You know, don't think that a dark neutral has to be navy, black, dark gray, chocolate brown. Like a dark neutral for you may be a camel color. It might be a mid-toned olive color. It might be a pale gray, you know, like a mid-gray, you know, that depending on the colors that you think look good on you and that you like to wear. So just keep that in mind, you know, just that doesn't have to mean real dark, because a lot of times real dark colors can wash people out depending on your level of contrast in your skin. That gets technical. Don't let that overwhelm you though. Don't let that overwhelm you. So anyway, that's kind of how I went with my color story for this one. Again, it keeps it very, very simple. But then once I have these 7, because I'm making 7 core pieces, I can then spin off of those and add in additional colors. So I think I'll be adding in some bright orange at some point. I would like to put in some purple in there, so some dark plum colors. Actually, I'm loving the kind of the burnt orange plum combo. Just really is singing to me now, right now. And then adding in some of the kind of the wine, you know, brick colors, the reds, and kind of the dark wines, which are these reds on my colors right through there. I mean, we all know that I love, I mean, this is like my power red up here that definitely goes orange. So, you know, I've got some pieces that are that color already in my wardrobe, and I've actually thrifted. I've got a couple, yeah, of things that have been thrifted and that kind of thing that'll be coming in as well. So there we have it. That is kind of how I have gone about picking my color story. And then also that is then dictating what I want to, fabrics I want to use. Now, after I had put everything, and I'm going to show you in a minute the mess, I'll pan over. Actually, I will right now. So I'm going to show you right now. This is what the floor of my sewing room looks like right now. Now, as you will notice, I just have things dumped on the floor, things layered on top of each other. Some stuff gets lost. Again, I'm not going to be sewing with all of this, but this was just my creative process, and this is what I like to do. You know, I can pull things out if I decide that, you know, maybe that, you know, I kind of went with that corduroy, that's that kind of a wine color. You know, if I decide, well, no, I think that's not going to work with this one, it can be pulled out and come back in at another time with another, you know, different module. That's fine. Or maybe I like that paired with the orange, and also even paired with kind of the plum purple, you know, so I can kind of pull things out, put things in. It just makes it, if you're visual, it makes it really easy to make a mess. I try not to unfold anything because I do like to have ease of putting things away fairly easy. But yes, this was kind of the color story I'm playing with. There's a lot of brown in there, only because like I said, I'm very drawn to the monochromatic look right now. And I think I'm gonna be playing around with that quite a bit this fall, just for something fun. I think that's a very elongating look, and that all comes from just the things I've pinned on Pinterest. And that was a common thread that I was noticing from all of my Pinterest pins. So that is kind of where I am with my fabric. Now, we talked about silhouettes and patterns last week, and that is where I like to start with my modules. I like to put a whole bunch of stuff onto Pinterest and then just find commonalities in the silhouettes and what I like about them. I usually will go with some silhouettes that I already know I really love on my body, and then maybe experiment a little bit. You know, I'm going to be trying a boxier turtleneck. I kind of mentioned that, and so that's going to be something kind of new. We're going to see if I like that on my body or not. But yeah, you don't know unless you try, so that's where we're going to go with that. But I go with my patterns, and once I've picked my patterns, then I'll go through and look at the fabric. So all of this fabric, I did find that I was short. I wanted 2 of the tops that I wanted to make. I did need to buy some fabric, actually, and my topper, actually, because I didn't have any sweatshirt fabric in my stash that I, you know, could use for this. So I did have to make a couple of purchases, which you guys will be seeing in my plans video. But for the most part, this allowed me to go through and decide, you know, and if I wanted to work directly from my stash, then maybe, okay, maybe I pick a different topper, something that I can use, you know, one of my wools or something that comes that I already own. Or maybe I want to change my pants up a little bit because, you know, I don't have any, I don't know. You know, I want to use a wide wheel cord and I don't have any in my stash. So instead of ordering some, maybe I switch my mind, you know, change my mind and find, you know, tweak things a little bit. So this is where they kind of come hand in hand and play around a little bit together. And again, I did make a couple of purchases of fabric just because I really am curating a wardrobe that I love. And I picked some really good stuff that I think is really going to make the rest of this stretch and be rather beautiful. So it's very, very exciting. So anyway, that is it for today. This is kind of, yeah, have some fun playing around with color. Paint swatches are also fun to play around with. If you want to look through home decor magazines, because the color palettes they put together there for homes, they can work on people too. So just pretend that you aren't, you know, necessarily decorating a room. A lot of times they'll have like paint swatches next to a room that's been decorated. If that's a room that really sings to you and colors that you like to wear, go off of that. Use that for your color palette. You're just gonna be working in fabric instead of paint and hard furnishings or soft furnishings. So there you have it. Those are kind of my tips and tricks for picking up a color palette. Again, I just have 3 colors that I'm playing with this wardrobe, so you can definitely keep it as simple as you need to keep it, and then after the challenge is over, I'll be going back to this a lot, and you guys will see how I'm then going to be creating more modules that come off of this. So that's going to kind of be the theme through the rest of the fall and then into the winter. You'll see me branching off, adding things that are already in my closet. I'll be adding in some thrifted stuff, be doing some upcycling, things that need to be altered that I've already purchased or thrifted, and then how I then make thoughtful purchases when it comes to my accessories, because I do like to spend a little bit more money on my shoes, mostly because I want those to go the long haul. I have very few shoes in my closet, so I'm very thoughtful about it, and I want nice quality shoes that will last for a long time. So I'm very, very thoughtful about the things that I buy and put into my shoe wardrobe. Okay, that's all I've got for today. I hope you guys will definitely go check out the hashtag Shelf Sewing September. I think that would be a lot of fun to participate in conjunction with this challenge that I'm doing. It just really goes great hand in hand. And then definitely go check out our prize companies. I think that's a lot of fun there as well. All right, next week I think next week I'll be talking about my actual plans. I think it's either next week I'm either going to be talking about my actual plans. I'm going to be showing you some drawings that I've done with my body model, or I'm going to be talking about my thrifted and purchased pieces that I'm kind of thinking about. Actually, no, maybe that'll be the following week. So yeah, we'll be talking about plans next week. And then the following week, I'm actually gonna be talking about thrifting and some thrifted items that I'm, how to thrift and how to add those into your module. And I'll also be talking about some of the purchases that I've made as well, shoes and that sort of thing. So that's what we'll be talking about the following week. And then we're kind of gonna be getting into the nitty gritty of starting to show off my pieces as we go along. All right, that's all I've got for today, guys. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you all next time. Bye.